Hi, I'm Paul Warren.
And I'm Ryan Klein.
And this is another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies. Ryan, how you doing on this fantastic night?
I'm a little bit sleepy.
I can tell that this is going to be a great episode already from the start.
I'm already in my PJs, 8:15.
Those are nice PJs. So we got an exciting episode for you guys today. It's time for SEO Questions from Reddit, Part 3.
Yeah, we've done this before. We did a Part 1 and Part 2, and then that means this third one.
They were so successful that we did a third one. It's happening right now. But also, we ran out of some ideas because we didn't prepare before this. And this is a good way to fill some time with an episode.
Well, we could have been talking about link building with your buddy, or we could talk about Facebook, but
or the medic update. But
or the medic. I don't want to.
We promised we'd answer some of these questions from.
I don't want anything that's like in-depth analysis and take too much brain power because I'm trying to shut off my brain already.
But this is good because these are questions that people actually have out there that need answers to. So we're going to give you some solutions.
Exactly, and it's February 13th. So if you posted something on Reddit around that time and no one really gave you a good answer, well, maybe we'll answer it for you, or maybe we don't know the answer either. We'll find out.
So, all right, Ryan, you want to go ahead and read that question?
Yeah, sure. So it's from Peter. He's out in somewhere in New York.
Let's not give away his location.
That's what I said. It's somewhere in New York. And then his okay, never mind. So I enjoy the podcast. Keep up the good work. Oh, cool. Well, that's just like a little bit
Thanks,
of
man. Maybe just read the question.
Oh, here we go. I have a subscription to monitorbacklinks.com. I noticed that my images were getting scraped and I was receiving backlinks with anchor text of, and in quotations, it's like a dot. Additionally, it turns out these scraping websites share the exact same IP address. Okay, so let's note all these parts. Okay. I looked at the backlinks of my two main competitors that I monitor, and their websites were not getting scraped, and they had much healthier anchor text profile, meaning it's probably more diversified. Right?
That's what I'm assuming it means.
For better or worse, I ended up disavowing all the links. I'm not sure I did the right thing. I thought it was negative SEO, all in caps, so emphasis on those negative. What do you think? Am I being paranoid? Remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that they're not out to get you. I agree. I can be paranoid about things too. Thanks in advance, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Everyone's out to get you, first of all.
Well, no
but
kidding,
is being paranoid? Yeah, probably a little bit.
Nothing wrong being paranoid in SEO. It's just kids who will kick in the booty to do more stuff, honestly.
I mean, like the ways that you can really do negative SEO and make an impact are kind of limited now based on like all the algorithm updates that have happened over the past like 5 years. Really like the real-time Penguin one, I think it's going to make like building a massive amount of links for things not as important as it was. Like Google's pretty good at like knowing like the value of like a link and then just saying like, oh, we're just not going to value a link from that source anymore. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't worry like too much about it. I mean, this happens all the time too. And it's not necessarily like someone doing like negative SEO. Usually if there's like a bunch of porn links pointing to you, or or someone hacked into your website and like did some stuff like that. The major way like that negative SEO happens that I've seen is like people build citations to like your local Google My Business like your NAP info, and they build like a bunch all wrong and like screw it all up.
They throw up like a number,
and
the
there's
phone numbers off.
Nothing you can do about that to stop it.
That one would hurt, and I completely agree, because citation seems to be one way you can do negative SEO, because that NAP cohesiveness is the name of the game.
Oh, it's so important.
As far as negative SEO, I mean, the thing is that Google's obviously aware of what people are doing out there, and they know that with every positive tactic, there's a negative tactic. And I think that there was maybe about a few years ago, maybe like 3-4 years ago, was about the time where like disavow like made more sense, but at this point,
yeah, I haven't disavowed links in for like a couple of years, honestly, since they updated like the real-time Penguin stuff. So honestly, I wouldn't worry too much about anything coming to your website like that. I mean, if you really look at like the link profile of like a really, really large website, and I work on one that's like over 1 million people in traffic like a month, there's all kinds of crazy stuff in there, and it's not necessarily like hurting anything from that perspective. So
good Lord, it's loud
I hope sorry guys, some craziness outside.
Oh my god, downtown Orlando, baby.
Crazy place to live. So I hope that answered your question. So like I said, don't worry too much about it. I don't think you're getting negative SEO at all, and if they are doing negative SEO, they don't know what they're doing. They're not doing it very well.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's not like a negative impact, like you're not doing anything else and all of a sudden like things are going nuts and your TFCF or DAPA go nuts, but yeah, I don't.
And so a little advice too, like if you see like a drop in a page and there's a bunch of crazy backlinks and maybe it is negative SEO, I'm not saying never like disavow links, like you can do that, but what it's kind of telling you is like whatever the keywords are that you dropped for, like that's like what is being like over optimized. And so it's like you get an opportunity to like add some different anchor text out there to like diversify that.
That was like one. Well, that was like one last note I was going to leave it with, is because let's say that those links, instead of having negative impact, they have no impact, but it's because the anchor text portfolio.
Yeah.
Would that be the only thing that you should be like worried about? Because even though you have 1,000 links that come in and none of them do anything negatively, but it skews your.
I don't think it matters if Google knows like those links are like crappy links. Like
Okay.
I don't think it's taking into account like the anchor text of it or like the quality from it or really anything. They've gotten pretty good at figuring out what spammy links are.
Yeah. So I think the bottom line is we don't really think it's going to affect anything, but if you want peace of mind, go ahead and just do it because it doesn't take that long.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope I answered your question, but now we're going to move to the meat and potatoes of the episode. That's where we answer some awesome questions.
So we're going to go through Reddit and we're going to pick the ones that we know how to answer. And then
very selective here.
I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna watch UCF beat that USF ass as usual. I wouldn't expect it to go any other way, especially.
Here's a good question.
Oh, okay. Here we
how
go.
to quick rank a new website on Bing? So look up SEO tactics from 2013 and just do those, and it'll rank really well on Bing.
I agree, and make sure that the URL actually has keywords in it.
Yeah,
because Bing does like that.
Almost what Google tells you not to do. Just do all those things, and usually like it'll crush it in Bing because the algorithm is so old.
It's old, and I don't know if they're updating it.
It's really unsophisticated because they don't make enough money to support like the number of updates and like the staff that they need to like put all that into it. So
I guess I'd have to ask what would be the reason why you would want to rank specifically in Bing. I can think of two reasons. A, you did like really great market research and realized that most of your ideal clients use Bing for some reason, or two, you're an SEO company or like a freelancer
like
that promised to client that you can rank it on Bing.
Yeah, I think like just go nuts, spam it out, man. Like
so I mean, my advice really would be make sure you really do pick a URL that has keywords in it for real.
Yeah,
and then also you can probably get away with a lot of link building that you could buy on Fiverr and other places like that.
Yeah, honestly. And that also holds up if you're doing stuff in Europe as well, and Google in Europe. You can do some really old school sketchy black hat stuff, and it crushes it.
I think that you would opt to create content that was much more keyword heavy. That would happen on Google. I think one thing that you should consider if you want to go for Bing, just don't expect to also rank on Google.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that if you rank well on Google, you'll probably rank well on Bing.
But then not
versa. If you're like, how do I rank well in Google?
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is like a lot of like the updates they made to like backlinks and stuff that never happened in Google. That never happened in Bing. It only happened in Google. So like they weight the value of backlinks much heavier than like Google does at this point, and the quality of content. And like the threshold of Google is like much higher. So like have a shitty site with some average backlinks, you got it.
I know that's really about it. And then one parting note too is that. We still don't know. We'll probably never know why you said Bing, but
dude, seriously, if you can send us an email about why you want to rank in Bing, like I would love to read it. So you can send that to seos.otherlies@gmail.com, and I would love to read why you want this.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now. I mean, I look at all my clients' analytics and everyone's analytics, and you're not going to expect to get. More than 6 or 7% market share on Bing. I mean, Google's 80% plus, so just keep that in mind.
It's almost like I've never seen anyone say, "How do I rank in Yahoo?"
Same as Bing. Just do the same stuff, even worse.
So, okay, here's a good one. We both have opinions on this one for sure.
Okay.
Any advice about online SEO courses?
Okay, cool.
My advice is don't pay for them.
Yeah, there's just way too much information out there.
Just listen to our podcast. You'll learn everything you need to know. We're
this
giving you free podcast right here.
I mean, it's hodgepodge. It's a little scatterbrained, and it's like kind of bounces back and forth. But of course, this is a great starting point for like jumping past basic, probably right into intermediate. Every single one of my interns that starts with me always reads the Beginner's Guide to SEO by Moz. I always think it's like a pretty good. I don't know how often they update it anymore. I think they update it somewhat regularly. Take it with a little bit of a grain of salt
as well.
But it's good. You can YouTube stuff. You can read like Google's guidelines and use that as a foundation and upload it later.
Let me put it this way: anyone teaching you about SEO started at the same place that, like, all of us did, and it's not like there's a degree. I mean, there might be degrees in it. I don't know if I'd get one.
Oh my God, can you imagine like paying a lot of money for SEO?
No.
That'd make me so sick.
But like even the experts that post on like major blogs and that you can read out there, they started all in the same place, and it's just trial and error and like reading the terms of service that like Google gives you and just experimenting. That would be you really want to get an SEO education is like try and build a website and try and rank it for something.
I love it.
And like that will teach you, and then like learn as you go. When you get to a point where you don't know what to do, Google like what to do in the situation, read some articles, watch some YouTube videos, and just learn it in like bits and pieces until you know what you're doing. And then you put it all together, and then you know how to do it.
Just set like a hard goal with like a brand new website. I mean, you're not going to rank for like, Snuggies, like the pros out there.
Yeah.
But like maybe some sort of long-tailed thing like dog bowls for small dogs.
I'll tell you a good place though. I'll give you a good resource, and he hasn't done anything in a long time, and he definitely sold out.
Mockingbird?
No, SourceWave.
So
if you go to like YouTube,
that's kind of
SourceWave,
random. That's kind of random SEO stuff, though.
Well, yeah, but like Alex Becker. If you're like really into SEO, you've been into it for a few years. You know who Alex Becker is. He's basically sold all kinds of SEO tools and training. He's made a bunch of money off of it. He doesn't do SEO anymore, but
he just sells courses and whatnot?
He's a really non-technical person, and he does a really good job of explaining things in layman's terms that are like sort of technical, because he just had to like figure out and learn it, and then he was able to explain that. So if like you have no idea how to build a WordPress site, he'll show you like, hey, this is how you get hosting. This is how you like add the domain to that.
I didn't really know he did anything that rudimentary. All this stuff. Okay.
What?
I didn't know it was that rudimentary for his stuff.
Yeah, so it's like I have no idea how to do any of this stuff. He has all the videos. He walks you through it. He talks about things in very, very layman's terms, and you'll begin to have an understanding of it. You're just gonna have to build like your SEO knowledge from there. And like the thing is, it's sort of like finance, where there's a lot of like complicated terms to make it seem like people don't know how to do it.
And, oh my God, finance is so much more complicated.
That they want you to like just not pay attention to it, right? It's like filled with like purposely like complicated terms to make it seem like that, right? But just like finance, which is way more complicated than SEO,
much more complicated.
But you know how in finance there's just like the way that they like phrase things, it's like purposely to be like complicated.
Well, it's because its underlying discipline is like calculus and crap like that. That's too.
True. So. But it's not anything that anyone couldn't learn.
Well, there's definitely going to be cut off for some people. For both, for SEO and finance.
There's going to be cut off, yeah, for some people, for both.
It's going to happen a lot quicker in finance and SEO, though.
That's true. But I think that my argument is still valid. That there's like a lot of things.
We're definitely getting centric.
Yeah,
but like Alex Becker's good. Watching the videos is fantastic. Mockingbird is like some good stuff. Reading the search engine land is still relevant. Remember the day that like they said Google like de-indexed all search engine land because they thought that they didn't like
recently.
Yeah, they did by accident though. Yeah. It wasn't that they like sincerely hated them anymore.
But one of the things I'm going to tell you though is like the very like highly trafficked websites about SEO, the very commercialized ones. So you can think like Moz, Search Engine Land, Search Engine Journal. They're not going to tell you stuff that's like black hat, right? They toe the company line. Like they're the people that get invited to like the trade shows and the conferences,
and they partner with Google,
right? Yeah. So they're not really there to tell you how to break Google's terms of service. And people who are really, really good at SEO, I mean, I'm gonna just tell you straight up, they do completely black hat stuff. Like the people that make millions of dollars, like
they just do because they want to
take advantage of everything.
You always want to push the boundaries, everything. That's how you do it. So you can go in black hat world in that case, and then you take what you want from there. You don't have to, there's white hat, gray hat. There's plenty of great white hat people. They're mostly content. That's about it. And then there's gray, and they start getting into.
But just like consider the source and like what they have like at stake in the game. Any legitimate agency isn't gonna tell clients that they're doing black hat stuff, right? They're not going to say we're doing things that could get your website de-indexed or get you like
and then the clients,
trouble.
And then the clients say, "Hey, I was like reading a thing, or I heard from someone. You're doing black hat," and you go, "Of course not."
If you want to like really kind of see some of that stuff, I mean, there's like a million. Forums you can check out. Like the Warrior forum was really popular back in the day.
Yeah, that was cool stuff.
Black Hat World was really like popular back in the day.
It's so popular. I don't really know what else there is, to be honest.
Yeah. There's some like pay for, like premium like pay forums and stuff where they give you stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's like paid Slack channels where you can like learn stuff.
That makes sense.
You know, there's a rich community out there of people that will take your money to teach you like black hat things for sure.
Gladly. So I guess in summation, if you really want to expedite becoming an SEO, listen to this podcast while reading Moz while watching Becker videos, all at the same time.
Yeah, that'll take care of all of it. So
yeah, you'll know exactly
I
what's
just
going
really
on.
want to know why that guy wants to rank in Bing.
You know, listen, people's got their.
It's really getting to me.
They've got those motives, and one thing that I would say is, if maybe someone came to them and they said, "I'll rank you guaranteed on Bing," which is like a pretty interesting guarantee.
I would say I'll give you $2.50 to do that,
like $2.50. Yeah. You mean?
And then I'll still be at a loss. So there you go. Okay, here's a good question. I actually have a story I can relate to this today.
Great, love it.
What SEO metrics are important, and what tools can I use to make my life easier?
I think we'll both easily agree on this.
Yeah.
You want you to start?
Well, I mean, let's start with the free ones. It's going to be Google Analytics. It's going to be Search Console.
Well, let's start with the metrics or the KPIs. What
are the main about tools? So, okay.
Well, no, they start with what's important and then we'll use the tools.
Yeah. So, all right. So really what you want to know as an SEO is what do I rank? Yeah, that's fine. Well, sorry guys, we're also watching like a basketball game right now.
UCF is beating the crap out of USF.
They're whooping them.
Yeah, they go.
So what you want to know, like the name of the game, right, is traffic and keyword rankings. So those are the two most important things in SEO.
Oh well, I mean, conversions are the goals.
Well, it depends on what the purpose of a website, your website is.
I mean, you know, for e-commerce, it's gonna be sales. It's for a small business. It'll be leads.
That's a larger conversation, right? So you want to get with whoever owns the website, who's paying you, or if it's your own website. What's like the purpose of the website, right? Is it just to get traffic? Are you trying to get traffic from ads? Are you trying to get affiliate sales? Are you trying to sell an actual product? You do an e-commerce?
Oh, you know what? This is kind of like a podcast in itself for sure.
I know. So
let's just do the
like
basics.
I don't want to focus on that, but let's say it isn't your job to get conversions, particularly. It's to drive traffic to like a website.
That'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it be?
Not necessarily, no. So let's say what you want to know is like, regardless of what the purpose is, keywords in your rankings are what's going to drive traffic and going to get you conversions anyway. So like those are the important things, right? Mm-hmm. And so you want to see how the pages that you have on your website, how the content that you have is performing, and how it's ranking, and who's coming in, who's dropping off immediately, maybe how far they're scrolling down the page, maybe there's things on the page that they're clicking that you want to analyze. There's like a lot of things, but you want to start right with Google Analytics, which is free. I always say it's like pretty much they give you like a Ferrari, but people only know how to drive like a Volkswagen. Basically, they only learn like tiny little things about it.
It's pretty extensive.
Yeah, there's a lot to be learned about it. There's a lot you can get out of it, and very few people know how to get a lot out of it.
That's like AdWords. Oh my God.
Yeah,
so much more complicated.
We could do many podcasts on just the cool stuff that you can do in Google Analytics, and I actually would suggest taking some classes on that if you could.
They still have courses. I don't know if there's certifications or whatnot or anything, and that kind of actually circles in like how to learn SEO. They have some courses out there?
The problem here, right, is Google's not going to really give you the keywords that people are coming to your website for, right? Mm-hmm. They're not really going to give you keyword rankings. They give you that a little bit in Search Console, which is also a free tool that I would suggest everyone getting if you have a website. So they're going to tell you a little bit about what people are searching to get to your pages. And Search Console and Google Analytics is basically telling you how people are interacting with your website once they're on it. And like the medium that they're coming to your website from. So if it's Facebook, it's direct. So they're coming directly from like a link. Are they Googling you? All that information is in there. But you want to know page views. You want to know like sessions. You want to know bounce rates of people like on those pages. And then you want to be able to track events of particular things, particular actions that happen on a page in a website.
Yes, set of goals is a little bit more complicated, and probably can't really do the walkthrough of that right now. But that would be one way to show if like something was being successful campaign would equate to some sort of event or goal that occurred on a page.
So for on website analytics, I always use Google because honestly, you're getting it straight from the source, and I've never found a tool that is better than that.
I like Clicky. In certain scenarios, it has its merits.
Clicky can be useful for like really only one scenario I can think of.
And if there's massive amounts of data, but I've never really worked on websites that get tens of thousands of visitors a day. I know Omniture is still out there.
So as far as like figuring out what keywords I rank for, I mean, you're gonna have to go with a third-party source if you're serious about doing SEO at all. I suggest SEMrush. They do a pretty good job of that.
You like them for rankings? I use SERPbook personally.
Honestly, they're kind of SERPbook is cool because you can update them instantaneously if you want. You can do like real-time updates.
It'll affect the cost of your package or arrangement if you get it that quickly.
I find that their tracking of like local pack keywords is really inaccurate. I also find that like most of them are inaccurate.
SERPbooks is tricky because what happens is if you include local listings, it'll just like it won't like say it's like in a map. So what happens is like if you're the first on maps, it'll say that you're ranked number 1, but like you might be ranked 14 organically. But then it'll say you're 1 because it automatically pulls in the maps with that differentiation. Yeah, which is kind of an issue.
SEMrush also has its problems. So what was the one that you have again? I used to have it. You were talking about.
What, for rankings?
The tool that you're talking about.
Is SERPbook.
SERPbook. That's one I used to use too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And SERPbook is like really on the cheap end of tools to do keyword rankings.
It's not too bad. I mean, that's like definitely like relative to whatever people are used to spending.
It's a very inexpensive option to track your keywords on a monthly basis.
I track 1,500 though, so that's why it's more.
But so just to get a paid account in SEMrush, it's over $100 a month to track anything in there, and then you're still limited to the amount of keywords that you can track. So SERPbook is a much lower cost option to do those things. And there's Ahrefs. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can get. So if you want to get competitive data on, like what other your competitors' websites rank for, the top ranked pages, the keywords they rank for, all the stuff, how much content they've published. You're not going to be able to get that from Google Analytics because, that's only going to show you data on your own account for your own website. So for that, I would suggest like Ahrefs, which is also expensive, or like Majestic. That's a really, really good tool. And SEMrush, again, like they're both really good competitive data analysis tools to kind of figure out content gaps that you might have. But I don't know. I've spoken enough about this. I feel like you need to contribute.
Well, I know, I wasn't even like sure if that's exactly what the original question was. I mean, these are all like useful tools, but I think that they were just talking about measuring success, or were they measuring?
I think they're asking what should they measure and what tools should they use to measure it.
Okay, so we measure. I mean, for me, all my campaigns, we measure traffic. We make so there's things that we measure to signify if our campaign's going in the right direction, and there's things that we measure to see if people are getting the return on investment from like investing in actual like SEO and SEM. So if we're going to check the trends, that's the analytics. We're going to track like traffic organically, referral, direct, whatever. If it's trending the right way, we measure that. Keywords are always going to be a good indicator if your campaign's going in the right direction. But ultimately, leads is what I measure the most. And then the two ways that you can typically do that are calls and forums. And then sometimes it's chats.
Yeah. So I'm actually in the situation where they do not care about leads or calls, and they only care about traffic.
Just so bizarre to me.
I know.
But that's why we're at different sides of it.
Because like the core of the business is doing fine, but what they want to try and become, right? What they're using as leverage is how much web traffic they get for a related topic. So they're like, we don't care about any of that. Don't focus on any of that. Just focus on like increasing traffic for as many terms in this niche as like humanly possible.
Yeah.
And so I know it's kind of bizarre.
Well, that's a measure kind of like internally for your own like reference of success. But for me, it's like this is how we measure success for you providing SEO services to clients.
I'll tell you the interesting thing I was asked today though about metrics.
Why isn't it called the matrix?
About the metrics matrix. So it as well be. So they hired this person, and she's super nice. She's very smart. She builds. She knows how to build algorithms, and that's like what her experience is.
Ooh.
But they kind of hired her to like be the metrics analytics master for like everything, like making like combined stuff, right? But she doesn't really know Google Analytics at all. But she has some sort of like third-party software, like through like the Google API, like it connects all this stuff and it connects into other tool sets and all this stuff, right? But she was like, asking me about, there's like one major site that gets a lot of traffic, and there's like 8 other smaller websites that all have separate Google Analytics accounts, because that's how you would set that up.
Yeah.
They're separate domains.
And it's not a multi-site.
That's right. And so she was like, I need to see basically every page and like the traffic that's gone to every page for all the websites.
Ooh, that's
in
tricky.
In one place. And
in one place,
and I was like, well, you can't do that.
Yeah, essentially they all have
like you're gonna have
their
to
individual
just add
dashboard.
that all up. You're gonna have to like export that, and
each one is its own entity. It'd have its own dashboard.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you. There isn't a way to like do that combined. I mean, there is a way, but it would be.
Well, there's a will, there's a way, but it just doesn't make sense.
It would be
really
nonsensical, right? So like you could create a separate account and then put the same GA code on all those websites, and it would combine all that stuff.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know how you.
That'd be very convoluted and very odd approach.
I wouldn't like want any information off of that. So,
I don't know how that would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't either. It would be helpful for that one thing. It's like, here's all of the pages across all of these domains that give you that information.
But just going back real briefly, because I said that I measure leads. The tools I use for calls is a CallRail, which has been so cool because it's one of the first times ever I've been able to track if calls came in organically, which I love.
Oh, that's interesting. I just do that with tracking numbers.
I didn't tell you that's what CallRail is able to dynamically replace a number if it came in organically.
No.
Yeah,
that
awesome.
is fantastic.
And then if you have multiple,
how far back does it follow the source? So like, let's say they came not from they didn't call the Google My Business listing, but they came from Google to the website, and then you can still track all that too. Mm-hmm. And does it replace the number depending on what the source of the traffic is?
Yeah, that's dynamic. So if it comes in through Facebook, it'll switch to this number.
Yeah.
If it comes in through this directory, this directory, this directory, this paid, you don't even have to like do a pixel. You don't have to coordinate anything with AdWords. Mm-hmm. It has like a drop down that says like, is this like AdWords? Like we already know.
We have a service AdWords like that we use at our studio that provides you like local tracking, like local area codes.
Oh, and it's always local area codes. Yeah. And then so that's cool. That we won't get into too many details because we've been on this topic for about 8 minutes. And then we're not really using too much of Contact Form 7 anymore because it's kind of fallen behind as far as like contact forms. We like to use Gravity Forms. There's more options, and it seems to be a lot smoother.
So here's a question that I don't have a solution for, but I'd like one. Maybe you have one. Automated alarms on broken links. I'm looking for an online service that will periodically, daily/weekly, check for broken links on my site and notify me. Thank you, guys.
So there are definitely alerts out there for, especially if you have like blog networks and whatnot, if your website goes down. So if you give it a list of URLs, it'll crawl like those 100, 200, 500 URLs every day.
Yeah.
Or like once a week and give you an alert if one goes down. I don't know.
Do you know what the service is called?
I'd have to remember. I'll put it in the footer.
Oh, okay.
Of whatever this is.
I kind of want to know what that is too. I was gonna say you could do some stuff with like automation with like Screaming Frog to like crawl
that would make sense.
Send you an email if it finds one.
There's 100% a tool out there that does it.
Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I do think that would be a cool thing to have, and I wish there was like an easy one that did that. Is it basically just something like a crawler to like run through your site?
Or you might have to write your own script and just do it yourself.
Yeah, you can custom do that stuff for sure.
It doesn't seem very out of reach.
So, sorry, La Locura 777. I don't have an answer for you, but Ryan kind of had one. We don't know what the actual name of the thing is. So it sucks to suck. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of messed that one up.
Okay, so I'm going through. You're going to have to fill the dead air with something.
Yeah, so UCF is up by 24 points. We're just absolutely beating that ass.
All right. So
okay, great. Okay.
Got it. Tracking conversions. That's the title of this post.
Oh, man, I feel like I almost just talked about that.
Oh, I know. Hey, guys. I hope this community is the right place for asking.
Reddit? Nope.
We're going to call you stupid, and we're going to meme you.
No, you're good. Okay. Reddit's absolutely great.
I work at an online agency, unnamed, and we want to track the conversions that come from ads and lead to being a client of ours. Currently, the conversion is if someone clicks on an ad and after becoming a client downloads his SEO report from our download page. Naturally, this is far from perfect because we often test the download function and current clients make the conversion every month. Is there a better way to track the conversion from ads? Thank you.
They didn't just answer their own question?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of solutions for this thing. Like, do you have like an actual like CRM? Because
any CRM would this would be like the 101 like
easily.
day one thing it would do.
It would just find the record for that email address and that person, and then like it would just lump together in like their lead sources, and then you would just know that like it's not like a new lead, and if it wasn't a new email address and all that information, it would be coming as a new one. So like Salesforce, what are some other CRMs that you could get?
I mean, we use Pipedrive.
There's like a million.
Autopilot.
There's like literally a million.
Zoho. They're a lot. CRMs. This is like we're living in an age where like if there's anything that seems like relatively simple, but you can like automate it or digitize it.
Like,
sorry. There's like 20 options for it.
Yeah, like I don't even know really how to respond to that.
I already forget what the question
is.
is.
It's such like a There's
Paul
like
and I are actually, for the record, are not drinking today.
No.
Because we're just kind of a little bit on the sleepier side, and we prefer not to. But I still don't really know what the question was. I think it was answered already.
Got a good question here. Finding keywords when they are all super low traffic. I'm working on keywords for an extremely niche-focused attorney, and we are the people to answer your question, my friend.
My gosh. Dude, I have a story about this just today. I have a story from today.
All right. We've identified some strong buyer personas. All right. Now that I'm starting to do keyword research, I'm finding that nearly none of the types of searches these personas would likely make have any data or search traffic. They are that specific. In this circumstance, how do you all recommend we identify target keywords? Thanks in advance.
So I actually have kind of the short answer is sometimes they're not a good candidate for doing SEO. And they might be better for doing it. You take that buyer persona and you do a push campaign instead of a pull campaign. Let me cite an example. Since this person already is in the legal field and they're going to know what I'm talking about. So when you're legal, you all know that there's going to be plenty of practice areas that are always going to get traffic no matter what. We're going to talk about your personal injury, you're going to talk about your criminal, your divorce, your family, bankruptcy, right? It's always going to be straightforward. It's always going to be very easy to know. It's always going to be like bankruptcy lawyer, attorney, personal injury lawyer, whatever, okay? When you start getting a little bit more niche, and this happens a lot, and I'd be curious to know if this is consumer law, because in consumer law, you have people that do very specific things. I've had a client that did credit card lawsuit defense. There's no traffic. I have someone that did TCPA and FDCPA law. Very little traffic. I talked to someone today, and they're like, I want to get more cases for consumer law. And I'm like, what kind of consumer law do you do? Because there's like hundreds of different examples. And he's like, I do lemon law, and I do like these specific things. You couple that with the geography, you're going to get no traffic. So what do? I think your options are strongly consider doing SEO for them, because the search volume is so specific that even if you cover everything from like short tail and long tail and you're writing like every variation
You mean don't do SEO for them?
You might not be able to.
Well, you said do SEO for them.
Oh, well, I meant no.
The opposite. Don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Sometimes you just have to like pick your battles, and like people just... I know that's like not the answer probably someone wants to hear, but like there isn't traffic.
It's not easy to say that as an SEO practitioner, but like some businesses, like it's just not the most valuable of mediums for marketing, you know?
Yeah.
Like it might be a thing where it's like traditional like marketing is actually going to work better. Or trade shows or you do
you have to like garner those relationships, doing it kind of like rubbing elbows and like networking and word of mouth, so like the old school, or you might just have to do a push. If you've identified your buyer persona, like cool, good for you, like put ads in front of them. Then
I would even suggest maybe like working with some like email lists and stuff, and like doing like pushes like that.
Sure. I mean, people think that SEO is going to be cover everything, but if you're getting no search results, I've already had several of these campaigns where we ranked number one for all the keywords that we thought were going to work, and it got like 2 or 3 visitors a month. It's just how it goes.
So to answer your question, maybe nothing.
Maybe don't do the SEO approach, and then consider doing a push approach, because the hard part about the push approach is identifying the buyer persona, or however you call it. We call it target audience.
Yeah.
But And then if you can serve ads to the right audience you've already identified, maybe it's a better campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that answered it there.
Let's do one more. Just one more, because we're a little ways in. And it's way past my bedtime. Not really, though. It's not even 9 o'clock yet.
Okay. I'm trying to find a real good one here.
That's cool.
Real
So
quality
so we're here in Orlando, Florida. On Saturday, we're going to have the chili cook-off. Joey Chestnut once did that, and Black Widow. They did a chili eating contest. And actually, Tijuana Flats provided the chili. I didn't even know that they had chili. I wonder if it was spicy.
God, I really hope I find a question really soon so you can stop talking about chili.
Yeah, so when I went to the chili cook-off like a couple of years ago, the best chili that I had was actually
Okay,
Tony
what should
Romo's.
I do with my low quality content? Boom. What?
Delete it.
I do. Okay, my site has hundreds of pages with low quality content and low traffic. What should I do with them?
Delete it.
Or 301 redirect them? Well, I mean, you never want a 404. Like 404 just means like
that's horrible.
You messed up.
Wow, that is not
that
is an option.
Doing,
hey, people, for the record, 404 is never an option.
Yeah,
it's a broken link.
Do not ever have 404s. So
301 doesn't really even make
here's
sense.
What I would say that you should do, my man. All right,
it's neither option.
Or my. I don't want to know if it's a man, whatever, my person.
I have in mind what it is. What do you say?
You can rewrite bad content, and it can rank after you write it. So it doesn't mean that like you have to necessarily delete it. Like if it's, I mean, it just really depends. Like, are you trying to target like a high traffic term in it, and it's like 200 words and it's really really crappy and it's like out of date or whatever? I mean, like you can keep the same URL and then you can actually just build up that page, and like Google will usually reward you if you update pages with like quality content once it's reindexed. I've done it many times.
It should only have like traffic going to it already though. I think that I can think of two options. Well, I can actually think of three options. A, if it's bad, just delete it. You just said it was bad, so freaking delete it and that's it. B, you can take it off your website and put it, use it in blog networks or syndication to build links back to your website. But you gotta know how to do that. But my main thing that I would suggest is consolidation. So what I would do is take all the underperforming pages that are all like grouped together and all similar in topics, and just make them massive pages and see what happens then.
Yeah, like add the content together. But what if they're not related?
That is only if they're related.
Yeah, only.
I'm assuming that there's.
Make a new page.
But it's a new page.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that if you have that much content on like one website, that there's going to be groups and clusters of these pages that are similar enough that they can all be combined into one page.
But I promise you though, like you can have a page, you have an existing URL that's indexed and it can have crappy content. And if you beef it up, you add like 1,000 words of content, you add some videos, you add some cool stuff into it, maybe some infographics, I don't know. You just really like put a lot of time and effort into it. Google will reward that and it'll rank. Like you don't have to just let it be the like, oh, it's indexed and this is always what's going to be. Like that stuff changes all the time. Like Google does like pay attention to like updated content.
You had that old picture of Obama like on a skateboard with sunglasses with like explosions.
That's a cool picture.
Do you remember that picture?
I do.
And then they made a Trump one. I don't like it as much.
So, anyways, all right. Well, I hope that answers.
We can do one
enough.
more.
Okay, you can do one more.
Guys, they're not at the 40-minute mark, and plus we're just trying to have fun, right? Oh, we're having fun.
It's all the same questions.
But if you can't find it, don't worry about it because I'm gonna start talking about the chili cook-off again.
Here's a good one, dude. My domain is a .com for a local biz. Should I change it to .co.nz for local SEO?
Oh, it's a New Zealand one?
Will this affect local SEO? I have built the entire site .com and now only realize I don't own the .co.nz domain anymore. I've done all the local link sites, Chamber of Commerce, etc., Search Console, and on-page SEO for the .com, but now I'm thinking it was all for nothing. Any advice on how I can keep the existing site but move or change the domain?
You should just feel bad. You should just feel bad. Well, I mean, like, we're like pretty good about like, we're all about using like the country's like, TLD and stuff. But if you already put on the effort, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I would look around too at the landscape, and if there's other .coms that rank in your area for stuff,
I'm sure that there are.
Not worry about
.com is universal.
Yeah, so I would just keep it the same and not worry too much. As long as you're targeting like the location stuff on your website and the content and like the meta stuff, like you're gonna be fine.
You know what they say about .co.nz? It's where Lord of the Rings was filmed.
Oh yeah, that's like the one thing in their airport when you fly in. It's like a giant statue of Gollum.
Oh my god, that's cool. All right, now we did it. We don't want to answer any more questions right now.
All right, well, guys, I hope that we answered all your questions this time around, and feel free to email us additional questions or hit me up on Reddit. I mean, I'm sure you'll see me post it, and we're happy to answer any of them. But you can email us at SEO is dead and other lies @gmail.com.
Is that forwarded to like one of your personal emails or something?
No, I just open it and read it from
Do
time
you?
to time. Yes, because it's attached to our YouTube channel.
Do you get like those emails like, "Hi, my name is Shimlar. I'm from India, and I have plenty of web services and web applications I'd love to share with you to make your website better."
Well, considering that I get those same emails across all of my emails all the time, it's not really a problem.
Shimlar.
But anyways, all right. So thanks for listening, guys. I'm Paul Warren.
And I'm Ryan Klein.
And this has been another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Bye.